So many to many, that's the relationship. Okay, for a kind of give you a little hint there, I wrote this 8 step. Okay, afterwards you can take this step for tomorrow's code challenge as well, just like put it in your cheat sheet if you want, but we'll take a look at what are those steps. But first of all, starting with Aaron. So Aaron, can you tell us how many classes are there?
There's going to be 3.
3? What are those classes?
Customer, bank, and account.
So customer, sorry? No, lift is for the solo one. Customer, bank, account. Okay. I'll give you guys around 2 minutes. Read these deliverables and then we'll discuss what is going to be the joiner class and what are the attributes for each class. So give yourself 2 minutes and take a look whatever is on the screen. Like those are the deliverables. And I'm going to give you guys timer for 2 minutes. My phone is outside, so it's 9:34. We'll take a look this one until 9:36. Okay? One minute left. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Still with Aaron. Aaron, can you tell me how many, first of all, what is going to be the joiner class and what is going to be the many-to-many relationship classes?
The account's going to be the joiner class.
Okay, perfect. Account is going to be the joiner class. That means if I want to draw out this relationship, customer has many accounts, account belongs to customer. Yes? Everyone?
Yes.
Same thing with bank. Bank has many accounts. Account belongs to a bank. Perfect? Okay. So we figured out a relationship. Now, okay. Varya, can you tell us what is going to be attribute for each of the classes?
So customer has name and number.
So customer has name and number. Okay. Then
Account has customer, bank, and balance.
so account has, so for sure it's a joiner class, so it will have instance from both other classes. So for sure, if it's given or not given, it's by understood that it's a joiner class. That means it will have instance from both the other classes. So that means it will have customer, it will have bank, and the extra attribute they ask us to give, that is balance. Okay.
Account has
And bank has just one thing, that is
name.
name. Perfect. Any confusion so far? Okay. Now, these are basic step before we even start coding. Okay, this is our basic step. to figure it out all this thing. If you guys want tomorrow, just take that small boards from outside. I'll put it few here tomorrow morning. Just take it with you and just draw it out and write it out. It's gonna help you a lot, like before you start coding. Then it's just gonna solve your most of the doubts. Okay, now here comes. Let's start with this first step. So Said, can you read the first step for us?
Write all of the initialized methods first for the many classes, then for the belongs to class, as well as the attribute accessor.
Okay, so actually instead of attribute accessor, I will write it attribute macros. Macros. Yeah, so it's like it can be either accessor or reader or writer, depends on the deliverable. In this particular app, it's going to be accessor because they haven't given us any restriction over there. So this is our first step. Okay, I'm just gonna read this one more time. What is in parentheses? They're saying first for many classes. What is going to be many classes at this moment? Customer and bank. Perfect. And the belongs to class is going to be the account class. Yes, so these 3 files are there. 3 of them are empty. Okay, so Saeed, which class I should start first? You can give me any option.
I'd start with accounts, just get that out of the way.
Okay, that's totally different what we just discussed. We said first for many classes and then for belongs to classes. What is the use for this? Why? It's because your belongs to is going to have instance from all other classes. So if you messed up with other classes, it's hard for your joiner class to get the information. That's why this approach is a little bit better. That doesn't mean the other approach is wrong, but this one is better. So we'll start with which class? One more time, Saeed. That's fine. Okay, we'll start with customer. Okay, so first of all, and today I'm going to make some mistake purposely. So just let me know whenever I make mistakes, okay? So we have customer class. The first step says write all the initialize methods. So here in customer class, first of all, we will write which method? Okay, and what is going to be as my attribute for initialize method? So name and number, and inside initialize method, what I need to do?
Instance.
We'll go line by line, okay? So still I'm with Saeed. Saeed, help me to complete this method, then I'll go move forward.
So at name equals name. At number equals number.
Okay. Okay, we are
And
done with initialize method, and what we are left with this in this particular class?
make the attribute accessible. In this case,
Yes. So in this case, it's going to be attribute accessor, that is name. Don't forget the comma. Number. Perfect. Now, Jordan, what is the next class that we will do the same step for? Okay, perfect. So we will say class bank. Okay. Then perfect. And the argument is just going to be name, and it name equals name. Okay. Do I need to do anything inside this class? Perfect. We need to do attribute accessor, and it's just going to be one thing, that is name. Okay. Now what is next class, Jordan? Accounts. So Abidin, what we're gonna write in our accounts? First of all, I know, no doubt in this one. You have to define the class. Yes. Yes, say?
you said in readable deliverable.
Uh-huh.
If it mentions something about restricted, that's the only thing you need reader.
Yes. If they say that you can, suppose it's actually it's kind of an account holder name, right? So if they say account holder name cannot be changed, that means you have to restrict it with just attribute reader, not the attribute accessor or writer.
So it's like a couple days ago, I forgot which module, it was like the person cannot change their name. Like they
Yeah.
have,
That's going to be a kind of restrictions for attribute reader or writer. Yeah. So we will write attribute assessor first. Okay. Let's read this statement again.
Write all the initialized methods first for main classes.
And then attribute accessor. The reason behind it is you cannot give read and write permission to an attribute without creating the attribute. That's why we first always create the initialize method and then we'll go for attribute accessor or writer or reader. So what is going to be the first method?
Initialize.
Exactly. Initialize. And how many attributes have account class?
3.
What are those attributes?
Customers,
Customer,
bank,
bank, and balance. Okay, perfect.
initialize.
Yeah. Thank you. Am I missing something?
Yeah, the A because it's in I now.
Let me write it again. Then I will like. Okay. There are too many I's in the initialize. Okay. What's the next step?
We're gonna set it. We're gonna set the variable, so it's gonna be our customer equals customer.
Exactly. We're gonna say add customer equals customer. Add bank equals bank. Add balance equals balance. Okay. Now
Now we're gonna set the R3. Use attribute assessor
mm-hmm.
and colon
Customer, bank, and balance.
And remove the E.
Yeah. Thank you. It was not purposely. It's just happened. Okay. So now we are done with first step. I can say we are done with totally first step. We are done. Let's look at the second step. Mario, can you read out loud second test for me?
Create some test data, making sure to pass in instances into the belongs to join class, and make sure things work.
Okay.
Make sure things happen.
Okay. So they say create some test data. So in this console.rb file, they already did require relative. We have binding.pry here. And now we need to create some test data. So Mario, help me to create those test data.
Well, I would start with my customers, I guess. And
Okay.
create a customer, so C1 equals customer.new. And customer takes in what was his name and number. So
Yes.
we'll give it a name, Charles.
Oh my God, you know about this? So I want to let everyone know. I don't want anyone to feel like, what's that? So my previous class right now in Mod 5, so there's a student, his name is Charles. So we always, whenever we are working with any example, anyone use his name. Like even in their code challenge, even in their project, they always uses his name. I was like, who wants to give their name? And even some other person, but he's like, I want to give Charles' name. And so that's the little joke there. That
He told me yesterday, so.
yeah, everyone, everywhere, they use Charles as a, how would I say, test data. Okay, a number. Do you want to ask Charles what is his number?
No, right.
Okay.
And the number was, yeah, there you go.
Okay, do you want to create more customers?
Sure, C2,
Exactly.
customer.new, and Charles Anna.
Charles and what did you
Charles
say?
Zeta, like the female version of Charles.
Yeah, just put, remove the S and put TTA. TT.
TD. Okay.
Something like that.
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna share this with him.
And then C3.
I know his last name. Do you wanna add his last name as well?
Sure. I don't know his last
It. Okay. And then we have,
Oh, that's a Y in
yeah. Okay, we have some number in there. Done with Charles. Sorry, done with customers.
there.
What is the next class instance that we want to make?
Thanks.
Perfect. First of all, make the many-to-many classes instance because you have to use them in your joiner.
That's right.
So B1 equals.
Bank.new.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bank will be.
What bank takes as an
It
argument?
takes a name.
Just a name, yes.
So it'll be a string of Washington Mutual or something.
Okay, so Washington Mutual.
Or
Right.
Ah,
equal to bank.new. And capital 1 or something.
like JP Morgan.
There you go.
And we take another bank.
Merrill Lynch.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about BOFA.
Yeah, it was a bad idea.
Oh,
You guys don't like Charles Schwab?
okay. Charles and Rob.
Schwab.
Swap. Can you spell it for me?
SCHWAB.
SCHWAB.
W in it, right?
AB. Okay. Works.
It's SCHWAB.
Fine. We'll discuss about what kind of bank is this later on. Let's come back to track.
So
We have customers, we have banks. What is the next thing?
our joint, which would be accounts.
Okay.
So it's going to be A1 equals account.new, which takes in the customer. So we can go C1,
Exactly.
and then we say B1 because it takes in a bank.
Mm-hmm.
And then the balance, those numbers are account numbers behind the.
No, those are their phone numbers.
they're-
So
oh,
so
okay.
this is about their balance. So it's
Okay.
fine. Number can be any number. You guys don't need to worry about number. That means just put some numbers out there.
Okay.
And balance is just like a balance. Yeah. So let's say 3,000.
There we go.
And then
We gotta make another account. Yeah.
I'm gonna make 4 or 5 accounts because it's many to many. So let's build those. So B2. Then customer 1 has accounts B1, B2
So he has 2 accounts. Okay.
in 2 banks. 2 accounts in 2 banks. And then C2 in bank 1 itself. Let's give a little different amount somewhere. So I'm gonna say 8,000, 10,000. So C1, C3, C3, 3, 1. Okay. We created some data like with different objects in there. Okay. Now they say create test data. Done with that. And we make sure that we are passing instances into belongs to /joiner class. Now they are saying make sure things works. So how are we going to make sure that things is working or not?
We have to run it.
We have to run it. So I'm going to say Ruby console okay. It takes, okay, it's there. I don't know why it took that much time, but let's see. So how I'm gonna check?
You are going to ask. You can ask C3. It's
So let's start with customers. C3 works. Name and number going exactly where they're supposed to go. Then we have bank. Perfect. Name is going there. And the last thing is account. Perfect. and we have bank instance and customer instance. That means whatever test data we created, it's working, it's fine, good. It's time to move forward. So before we move forward, these are the steps that, like, I can say this first 3 steps you can do it for every deliverables, but just to take a look at this one. What is this saying?
It's saying an instance method.
Those are not instance method. A reinforcement over here, guys. Name and number are their attributes. And why hash is there? Because you call them on a particular instance to get the value out of it. That doesn't mean that they already have this attribute name and number. So that means you don't have to create a new method with name and number. Otherwise, Ruby just confused like what they are talking about.
Okay.
So for testing this, c1.name works. c1.number works. Down with this first variable, sorry, deliverable. Okay. Bank name should work. So how I'm gonna call this? Name. So name is there, it's working. We are done with second deliverable. I don't know why I'm keep saying variable. Deliverable. And this one, in account, customer, account bank, and account balance should work. So what is our account? A1 dot, first of all, okay. We have customer there, then bank there, balance there. Perfect. Done with the third deliverable. So see, 2 steps, done with 3 deliverables. It's time to move forward. Now, let's look at this third one. Nash, can you read out that line for us?
Create the add-at-all class variable, shovel all new instances into the add-at-all array, and create a getting class method.
Okay. So what are they asking us to do?
So you're just creating the add-at-all class variable, you're shoveling that self into it, and then you're also creating the getting method. So there I would put add-at-all equals, and then open close the array brackets, which are just straight brackets.
Perfect.
And then the last line in the initialize method, I would put add-at-all is shovel self, and then create another method below the initial method, so def self.all, and then inside that I would just write add-at-all.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then
We'll do the same.
exact same thing in the other 2 files.
Okay. Perfect. So I'm gonna write that. Let me know if I am not doing something right. Okay. Moving towards our account balance.
That was a good question for you.
Yes.
Does it make a difference if that add-at-all with the open array that you just wrote, if that's above or below attribute assessor?
No, that doesn't matter. But that's a nice point. I don't think it matters a lot.
Yeah, as long as it's before the initialize.
Yeah, it should be before the end.
Define self,
Okay. By self?
Yeah.
Good. Because it's a class method. Okay. So here, what is the next step? How I'm gonna test my code? Okay, I'll go to terminal. Here.
Customer with a capital C dot all.
Exactly, customer with capital C at all. We have customer,
And then the same thing for bank
and then account dot all. Perfect. Works. Done with Step 4. We are done with step 4. Now, let's see how far we are with our deliverables. Done with this one? Done with this one. And we are done with all the deliverables for account class. Right? So now just left with customer and bank, both. Okay. And you answer, Nosh's question. I change it in account, right? Let me save it. I'm gonna exit it because I haven't saved it. It works, okay?
Can you put it below the initialize and show us what it
No.
is?
Oh yeah, I can show it for sure. Yeah, for sure I can show it. Actually, it should work because Ruby reads from top to bottom. So actually, when Ruby runs this class, they read this one first, but they call this method once we initialize the object. So that means it's reading the class at line number 4, but it's calling initialization method at line number 15. That's why it's working. Okay? So whoever thinks that why it's not, but that's why it's working, because it's like line number 4, it runs the whole accounts class, but at line number 15, it's called the initialize method. So initialize method is not called as soon as we read the class. It's called when we create the object. Okay? Am I clear?
So, is there any executable code like outside of the methods?
Sorry?
Can we put some executable code outside of the methods?
Yes. So it depends, like if you want to do every time. Suppose I want every time my user comes in, I want to give them a print message that welcome to my application. Then I will put that print message on my one of the classes outside the methods.
And it will run every time when we do work with classes?
When we go through the class, like here, when we do require, where is the file? When we do require relative, that means, yeah, here. So suppose, let's see it this way. I am putting a puts statement here that is saying welcome, okay? Now, let's see. If I exit it out, can you see this? That's what happened. So it's just like it runs before.
Init or new, it won't.
Now, initialize is running actually at line here because we are creating our accounts or creating new instances inside the file itself. That's why they are running here inside the file. But suppose I am not creating this, okay? I'm not creating any of the accounts there. I want to show you guys one thing. So here I am putting a put statement. And I'm saying I am inside initialize method, okay? So what I'm gonna do now is I exit it out. Can you guys see? We can just see the welcome at this moment. Now, as soon as I do account dot new, first thing is customer, that is C1, B1, and I'm passing 3000 in there. Now can you guys see? That means initialize method just run when you create a new object. Mario, you have
Yeah, I
question?
had a question because I hadn't finished it yet, but the gym lab that we have, under the binding pry, it had get swole or something like that, and that's what I was wondering. Like, would that run as well? It had puts get swole. Would that?
But
run?
if that puts is inside a method, then you have to call that
You
method.
have to call that. Okay.
So if it's something inside the method, then you have to call that method.
No, it was in the console under the binding pry.
So under the binding pry, that means whatever is above the binding dot pry, only that is going to run. Whatever is under the binding dot pry, that will not run because we are stopping at binding dot pry. It's just like we have a break point. Binding dot pry is just like a break point. We are just stopping at that point.
Yeah, but in the time of the actual program,
Well, why is that? Why did they put that put statement there? Just to put it there, or
I need to check it. Do you mind if we take a look at it
It's
later
like
on?
in console, there's like require relative environment memory, and then goes like diff load environment memory. It's gonna be like that.
So it's just like a put statement there.
Yeah, after the in console, it's your
is this so the binding up probably won't be the last line? Is that
Yeah.
So they have a method called reload, and that is loading the environment.rb file. It's just like they are making this application a little organized, that oh, this is the entry point, then this is the environment file. So usually when you have environment file, we're gonna take a look at those things probably next week when we reach active record. But it's just like environment file is like where you load all of your environment. When I say environment, that means all of your other files that are relying on each other. So that they are just like from one file, they're calling environment.rp, like from config file, they're gonna call that. So it's just like a calling different files. But it should not change anything for running your code. Okay? Okay, let's get back in here.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Here, we are done with 4 step and 2 deliverables for each of the classes. Yes? Okay, so we'll again start with Aaron, and then we'll go again likewise. Okay? Okay, can you read this one for us?
From the many classes, create a method to get all of the join instances that belong to that instance.
So what do you understand by this sentence? You can take this example.
From the many classes, create a method to get all of the join instances. I'm not sure.
Okay, anyone wants to give it a stat or shot?
So
Whoever is ready, just raise your hands. I know who wants to give it a shot. Okay, so
we have many classes like customer and banks, and they have this join
account.
And they want us to return all the information we can grab about many class from this account. Like for customers, it will be all his accounts, also for bank, it will be all his accounts.
So what does this line means is like what Bharia just said. It's like we have customer and bank. Those are many classes. Account is a joiner class. So our next step is grabbing the information from this joiner class that belongs to this particular instance. When I say instance, what is the common thing between these two classes, customer and account? Customer itself. There is a common thing between customer and account. So what they're saying is, out of all the account, grab the accounts that are belongs to a particular customer. That's what the line says. So if I want to build this, Arun, can you think about what methods that we want to create?
Inside customer, probably like a customer account.
Yes. So it's going to be, you can call it customer account or whatever you want to call it, but let's look at our deliverables. They want to call it accounts. So they're saying customer account should return all the accounts that are belongs to the customer. So that's the same thing whatever wrote in the line, but line number 5 is a more generalized way, so you can apply it on any of the domain or models. But we're gonna take a look at accounts. So we are making a new method call. Okay, and what we are going to do inside this method?
We are going to do account.all.
Exactly, account.all.
Select.
Okay, dot select do account.
And then
Make sure you guys put n in there, otherwise it will go sometimes in loop and it will give you a couple of errors there.
And then we'll do account. We'll do.
Like this?
No, we'll do a smaller case account.
Yes. and this represents the each element in the account.all array. So we will check account dot. You can see what are the attributes for the account.
Account dot customer
Mm-hmm.
equals
Self. So that means it will just return the accounts that are belongs to a particular customer. Perfect. Yes, Saeed?
So for stuff like the account, the second account, like the one in blue, right?
This one?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
For stuff like that in general, for later methods and all that, do you say, wouldn't it just be kind of easy to keep track of, like, if I were to use different arbitrary value instead of like.
You want to use the same
Like
variable?
If I was to, yeah. 'Cause
You can, not that you cannot, but it's just a placeholder. So the standardized or better way, I would say that just give it a meaningful name. Since it's account.all, giving it name like account or at least
like
a,
bank account.
yeah. So something that is giving a meaningful name, so you know that what you are expecting as a each instance in there. But that doesn't mean you cannot call it anything. You can call it test, temp, or only T. That is fine as well. Or Charles. We can call it Charles as well. It's completely fine. It's just a placeholder. So you can, if that makes you more understanding, then you can. But the standardized way is just like a giving meaningful name. What is the each element inside your array? Okay. So here, let's test this. Before we test it, oh, actually, I think I have saved. Yeah, let's test it. So how am I going to test it?
You need to call the dot account on a customer. So C1 dot
Account or accounts?
I think we made an account.
Let's see. Yeah. We made it account, but never mind. It's coming as an empty array. Why? Because we haven't uncommented this one. So see, it's just like testing is important. You get to know that, oh, we totally forget to uncomment that thing. Okay, account works, but still we are not done with step number 5. It's saying from many classes. We only created this for one class. We need to create the same thing for other many class. That is a bank class. That is a bank class. So let's take a look at this one. In bank, same thing. They have, let's call it accounts. So in bank thing, they have bank account should return all accounts that belongs to the bank. So Varia, what we are going to do here?
We copy paste.
Okay, give me one moment. I'm gonna do what you guys are gonna tell me to do. Okay,
And then change customer and bank.
with bank.
Yeah.
So everyone got this point? Because in these two classes, the common thing is bank. That's why we change it. Okay, so now we have bank. Are we going to test this? So, yes. How are we going to test it? B1 dot accounts, and we got all the accounts that are associated with bank 1. Oops. Okay, now let's take a look at this one. We are done with step 6. 7. Varia, can you read that step out like for us? Can you read?
Many classes, we have to get all of the other named instances that belong to that instance.
So what do you understand by that?
So we grab all accounts information, and after that we can reach for other many
Classes.
for customers to months
Ex-
and from months to
Mm-hmm. Exactly the same thing. So now we have all the common information from this class. Now, if our customer wants to know anything about the banks, we can go through this class. We already have the method. So now we can utilize that method and have information about the bank. So that means, first of all, we reach to the joiner class. Now it's time to reach the many class, the other class that we are connected using the joiner class. So yes, Saeed, where should I start?
Banks.
Okay, let's start with banks.
So,
Yeah. Do you want to take a look at the deliverables? Which deliverable match with step 7?
okay, so customer.
Yeah, so which deliverable is that?
Customers, banks.
So customer bank, this is the deliverable. So when we do customer bank, they should return all the instances of bank that are associated with the customer. So we will start with customer. We can start with bank. It's not like that, but since we are going through step by step. Okay, what is going to be the method name?
Define bank.
Banks.
Bank, account. Account all. Or
Okay, so since we already grabbed information from this class in our accounts method, so we can just use that method. So we can just do accounts. Now, what kind of iterator we are going to use over here? Is it assurance or it's a question?
both.
Both? Okay. Anyone? So Said's suggestion is map. Anyone has any other suggestions or recommendation? For sure it's going to be map. Because remember, map returns a new array. That means, yes, we want the new array for only the banks that are associated with customer. So it's going to be map.
For this method that you're writing right now, would it have to be under the accounts method, or it wouldn't work?
It doesn't matter.
It didn't work. Okay.
Yeah, because when you write accounts, it's just gonna call it.
Okay.
So it's like it's calling the method.
And you said we can technically use the class account also, but
You can do the same thing again here
okay.
and then write it map afterwards.
Okay.
You can, but it's just like repeating the same stuff here, but that doesn't mean you cannot. You can. Okay, so now we map through it what information we want out of our account.
The name of the account.
We are in account, so we are from customer, we want the banks. So for what information we want from our account? We are in customer class. So, okay, this is going to be each instance for the account. Out of each instance, what we want to grab it.
The bank.
The bank. So we're gonna do dot bank. Okay, it's time for test it. So we have customer C1 dot banks. I think I run it again. Or do I need to exit? No, you're fine. Oops, sorry. Oh, I haven't realized the timestamp. Okay, so now we have C1 dot we got the two banks that C1 has accounts in. Okay, yes, good. We have the bank's information. Perfect. Now let's look at, so we are done with these deliverables. Yes?
Can you go back to
Customer?
maybe, yeah. So whenever you in the banks method, whenever you do accounts.map do account, each one of those variables that you made account is an account that customer has.
Yes.
So if it only has one account,
It will just show that one account. Yeah. Okay, so here, let's look at this one. Still, it's saying from the many classes. That means not just one way. So it's like we build a one-way street. It's time to build a second-way street, like going from bank to customer. And that is one of the part of deliverables as well. Sorry, not this one. This one. Okay, so Jordan, can you read that? What is the deliverable for us? Okay, so in which class we will make that method? And what is the method? And it's going to be a, what kind of method is customers? Perfect. It's going to be an instance method. What we are going to do inside this one? Okay, so we take accounts dot map due. So each one we call account end. Exactly. Customer. Okay. So this is like now we build the second way street, but testing is must. So we'll say B1 dot customers. Yes, we got the two customers that have account in bank 1. Okay, so now we build this two-way customer. So we are done with our 8 step. And if you follow this 8 step, you are ready with your basic many-to-many relationship. Basic. It's like you can get information from any account about any class about any other class. We are done with the basic. Now let's look at our deliverables, what we are left with. Still, there are chances there are going to be extra deliverables, like making an object from one class for the another class or something like that. So let's look at are we done with all the bank deliverables? Okay. Are we done with all the customer deliverables? What we are left with? Yeah, so can you read out that route, Abidin, for us?
Customer balance should return total balance from all the accounts and all the bank that are associated with the customer.
Okay, so what they want?
The total amount of money?
The total amount of money in all the accounts that are associated with the customer in all the banks. It doesn't matter what the bank is, it doesn't matter what the account is, we want the total money. So first of all, Abidin, where are we going to create this method?
In the customer file?
Okay, and it's going to be a, what kind of method is that?
Balance.
But it's a class method or it's an instance method? Okay, now, yes, we created this method. What we need to do inside this method?
We need to return all of the balances in all of the customers' accounts.
So we need to return all the balances from all the customers' account. So since, what is the code that we can, just like we already built a code to get us all the accounts for a particular customer, right? What's that method name? Okay, so we already have this accounts that is giving us all the accounts. We want the total number out of the account. So how I'm going to start?
Well, first we want to get total of the balance. Yeah, I like to say total equals 0.
Perfect, total equals 0.
And then we need to use, let's say account dot dot each.
Exactly. We are going to use each because we don't want to return anything. We just want to iterate through that array. Every time for every iteration, we want to grab the balance out and add it to our total. That's at the end, that's what we want to do. So each do, yes?
Can we just use dot sum?
Dot sum, yes, we can. First of all, let's build this and then we'll take a look at sum as well. So you want to call each one balance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Account plus equals.
So our total is 0. So
Oh,
that is
yeah,
going
total.
to be
Total.
exactly. So
Total
total plus equals
balance.
balance. Okay. Actually, you are calling balance the each instance for your account. But that even in we need to go inside the instance and then we need to grab the balance. So this is what happens when you give a little different name. It's hard to figure out what's going on. So actually, let's call the whole thing, like the whole instance, account, and then we can do account dot balance. So we can grab this balance out of the account, and at the end, am I missing something?
Oh, we have to call it. We have to call total.
We have to return it.
Oh, return it, yeah.
Return the total back. So now let's test this. So it's going to be customer 1 dot balance. We got 5,000. Perfect. It worked. Okay. Now, yes, Nash, what we wanna take a look at it? Sum. So let's do dot sum in Ruby. Okay, I don't know why it's taking so long. Okay, perfect. So we have this. We want to use this one. I'm talking about the syntax. So anyone know where to start for using sum? Dot sum. So when you write dot sum, you don't need to worry about doing this. You just need to pass. Oops, actually, let me not change this. I'm gonna comment it out, and then we're gonna do total equals accounts dot sum due each one calling account end it, and we want to sum account dot balance. That's what we want to sum it. And now we got 5,000. Okay, so then we don't need to worry about doing this total and something else. So it's just like which way you feel more comfortable. It's completely fine. Both ways are fine.
Do you even have to do the total equals?
No, actually you don't. You can just eliminate this step, because since the sum is going to return a value, it's not necessary you have to store it in something else, and that's the last thing that is returning inside this function. So it should work the same way. Okay, so okay, now how many deliverables I'm left with?